live in Missouri where a trigger law from 2019 will now take effect that not only bans abortions, but also effectively bans IVF fertility treatments. My wife and I are going through IVF now. So couples who are trying to actively bring life into this world that can't naturally do so because of medical problems will not be allowed to because of a law that is trying to preserve life. Question mark exclamation mark question mark exclamation mark question mark. What's their reasoning for banning IVF? It's literally the polar opposite of abortion. For the people that are getting this confused with revoking an amendment, it is not. What it means is your local/state elections just got a whole lot more important. If you have a strong opinion on the issue, vote. Shift the power at the local/state level if it is a big issue for you. I lean towards states' rights over federal, but am also pro-choice in a red state, so voting *BASED on issues, not affiliation, is as important as it ever has been. Good comment. My wife and I aborted our first and likely only pregnancy due to extreme birth defects at 22 weeks. I feel very strongly about abortion and don't wish it on anyone. That being said, I can't imagine what we would have gone through carrying that fetus to term. Watching it die in the womb, stillborn, or best case scenario, extremely disabled with no quality of life. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. My wife and I went through a similar situation with our first pregnancy. Without a D&C, my wife would have carried our dead child to term and put her life at risk trying to give birth to it. This was a medically necessary procedure that may have saved my wife's life. I have no tolerance for the laws that the more conservative states are passing totally outlawing this. Edit. D&C, not DNC. More unwanted babies will be born. They'll likely grow up unloved and uncared for. I see an increase in crime and health issues in a couple of decades. I don't like it. Not only that, but a greater financial drain on the entire system. More subsidiaries for prisons, more welfare, more Medicaid, more foster care, etc. Everything reprehensible about this truly immoral ruling aside, this will financially and economically weaken this country with every single individual it keeps repressed and unable to climb out of the underprivileged hole they were forced to be born in. Gonna be a lot more dead kids, dumpster babies, teen girls with complications from illegal abortions. Doesn't seem very pro-life. They won't just be teens. Over half of the women who get abortions now are already parents. I think America needs a Lysistrata month. Acura sex strike. Way ahead of you, man. I, female, haven't had sex in over a years. But that's for a diff reason. It is an ominous sign and a trigger for what is yet to come. Thomas said this opens the door for birth control and gay marriage. Hopefully this will be the impetus pro-choice people need to take RBG's advice and pass laws instead of expecting the Supreme Court to legislate from the bench. If only they could pass these laws by a simple majority vote, no Republican would ever vote in the affirmative. As horrible as this is, we have only seen the tip of the iceberg in terms of what this court is willing to do. Within the next 5 years, this country will be almost unrecognizable from today. I'm 53 and already snipped, so abortion being outlawed won't affect me in a direct way. However, I have 2 daughters, one of which is 20 and the other is 18. I worry for their future. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and I feel the same way, scared to death of what is coming. Sick. Women have died because they couldn't get a medically necessary abortion. I'm also sick because my rights, marriage equality, it being legal to be gay, are next on the chopping block. All straight people should be alarmed, since access to birth control is also on the chopping block. Funny how Clarence Thomas conveniently left out Loving vs Virginia from his dissent, since that would affect his marriage. Funny how Clarence Thomas conveniently left out Loving vs Virginia from his dissent, since that would affect his marriage. Thank you for pointing this out. Funny how extremists are curiously progressive whenever it involves their own vulnerabilities. Angry. It's obviously a huge miscarriage of justice. Once again the minority voice in this country got its way. And as a veteran, I feel betrayed. My friends and I sacrificed to protect our freedoms. To have the highest court in the land pull this obviously partisan move makes it feel pointless. Fellow veteran here, US Navy. I feel the same way. What the F asterisk 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 was I even fighting for? This is horrible for everyone. Think about it. The government can force women to have rape babies against their will. If the government has that power, where will they stop? In Texas, the trigger law they set up will be activated in the 30 days. It doesn't allow exceptions for rape or incest. Upset really. This has far-reaching societal implications that we will continue to see in the United States for the next 20 to 25 years if it isn't turned back. Also, as a kid I always saw the Supreme Court as this beacon of justice, equality and righteousness. S asterisk 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 is decaying like the lifelong justices that sit there. Honestly, it's never been that beacon. It has been said that America has a fine legal system. Unfortunately, it does not have a justice system. I'm seriously thinking that I should mention my vasectomy in my next Tinder bio. Before the news broke, I only said it as a sort of nervous joke, but now I'm thinking it might actually be a completely reasonable and beneficial thing to mention. I'm planning on getting the snip as I don't want children. Tube tying is way more dangerous, and I don't want my girlfriend to deal with the bullshit doctors asking, well, what if your partner wants children? It's ridiculous. Not happy at all. A president who didn't win the popular vote was able to shape the Supreme Court to a side that doesn't represent the country, and they overturned something a majority of Americans support. It all makes no sense. Don't forget that Clarence Thomas and his trash wife are insurrectionists and traitors to the United States and the Constitution. They should both be in jail right now, but instead he gets to decide what the law is in this country. Baffling. More importantly, what are you going to do about it? This is not just the woman's problem. In Texas, the entire state legislature, House and Senate and the governor are all up for election on November 8th. They're the ones who make the rules for the state. I have a feeling there's going to be quite a lot of single issue voters out there this coming election. As a bisexual man, terrified cause Thomas said gay marriage is next. Not just gay marriage, but also anti-sodomy laws that were historically used to criminalize gay sex, Lawrence. Additionally, the right for married couples to use and buy contraceptives is up for possible overturn as well. Griswold. I hate it. Everyone should hate it. Taking away freedom is a real problem in this country. We need more freedom, not less. It's causing me to leave the faith. Christians and religious people are largely behind this. Pro-life fucks, how many of you hypocrites are lining up to adopt or foster unwanted children after this announcement? How many of you can I count on at the local homeless shelter next week? Our cook resigned, and I need volunteers every day. This is a huge step backward for everyone. I was not a devoted Catholic, nor my wife really huge into her Christianity. This is it. We'll never set foot in a church again. It breeds a cult-like attitude and fosters hate and discrimination for people that aren't like you. They are a plague. Something like 80% of the country supports legal abortion, so it's a little scary to see the highest court go against the majority, basically, because of overreach of power. It's not a good look. We absolutely have states ready and waiting to make abortion 100% illegal regardless of circumstance, and that's going to objectively do more harm than good. Edit. I may be misrepresenting myself here. I don't think the Supreme Court should rule on what is popular, but rather on what is the best for its citizens. Also, the 80% number is more along the lines of Democrat support. I believe the countrywide number is around 60%. The government should protect its citizens. This ruling does not do that. Especially when our government was founded on we the people, not we the Supreme Court. I'm disgusted. My wife and I have opted for abortion 3 times due to severe sickness in the fetuses, and even though we now have 2 healthy daughters, it almost destroyed each of us and our relationship. But it was the right choice each time, to not put children into the world that would suffer for all of their short lives. Like the world is on fire and we are slipping back into the dark ages,